Hi, I'm Arnie Niekamp from Jackbox Games. If you're watching this video, I've been murdered. But that's not important right now because mostly I'm just here to help you walk through some of the settings in the Jackbox Party Pack 3 that are especially useful if you broadcast our games over Twitch or YouTube Gaming or Beam or something like that. So we're mostly going to start by walking through Quiplash 2, and this won't take too long. Let's see here. So if we go down to settings, obviously, there's things like volumes and full screen. Now, audience can turn on the ability to have up to 10,000 people play along with your game. The little icon next to it will pop up in your game. So that's a quick shorthand to know whether certain features are turned on or off. Audience play along is a new feature in Quiplash 2, which means that in the portions of the game where your players are kind of busy answering questions, typing in their funny answers, it can be a little bit of a dead air time because everyone's concentrating on what they're doing. Audience play along allows these 10,000 people in the audience to type in funny things that will pop up on the screen during this sort of prolonged period of the game. Obviously, you may not trust your audience to do that, so you can turn it off. Also, if you're the first player in the game, you're the VIP. This is something that's sort of important to remember, which means you have the power in the game. And one of the things you have the power to do in the audience play along thing is if you start to see things popping up on the screen that you don't want to see, you can turn that off in the moment, and you can make it so that those things stop coming up. Extended timers. Now, obviously, when you're streaming something over, say, Twitch, there's a bit of a delay. Our games are designed to make up for that delay, but it can help to have extended timers on. What that means is the timers just last longer, and it gives everyone enough time to see what's on the screen before giving their answers. Then, of course, there's the family-friendly filter, which filters out prompts that, are a little more risque. Here's a big one that we got a lot of requests for. Require Twitch. When you turn this on, to get into the game, instead of just logging in with your name and the room code, you actually have to log in with your Twitch account. And what that means is, if someone's being a real jerk in the game, you know exactly who they are, and you can ban them from your stream. And if you're not logged in with Twitch on your phone, which is your controller, it'll give you a message that you need to log in to get into the game. When this is turned on, the players in the game are required to use Twitch login, but still the 10,000 people in the audience can just log in whatever. So not everyone has to have a Twitch login to play. Another great tool for protecting your stream is manual censoring. When you have that turned on, if you're the VIP, as I explained before, the first player in the game, you can censor any of the answers in the game. Say you don't want to see pooping for some reason, see the little X next to the word pooping. That's how you censor. By clicking on that, it'll make sure you really want to because it's very powerful. You hit the question mark, and then that person is censored. And in Quiplash 2, if you censor someone once in the game, they're censored for the rest of the game. So you don't have to continually censor the same person. It's kind of the nuclear option, and it really discourages people from being real jerks. You can censor people during the game, but you can also censor people from the very beginning in the lobby, if you know they're going to be troublemakers then. There's also start game from controller only. What that means is instead of starting the game with your phone, you can just use your controller, whether it's a PlayStation controller or Xbox controller, to start the game. The point of that is if, for whatever reason, maybe someone jumps into the game before you and is the VIP instead of you, that stops them from being able to start the game. Or maybe you want to have a game for just your viewers and you don't want to play in it, but you still want to have the power to start the game. You're the only one that can do it because you're the only one that has your hands on the game controller. Similarly, we have allow room code hiding. You can turn the room code off in the lobby so that no one can see it. If you want to hide the room code so that you can get in, if you want to send the code to some of your subs or specific people, but you still want to have something visually compelling on the screen, like the lobby, so that you can see the lobby filling up, but don't have to worry about the room code being seen by people you don't want to see it. And you can toggle that room code on and off with your controller or spacebar. Oh, hey, it's my face again. So that's Quiplash 2, and that's most of the basic features that you need to know for streaming your games. And most of the games have those features in them, but I'm going to quickly go through each game and say if there's any additional features that it's helpful to know, or some subtle variations on how some of those features work. Let's start with Trivia Murder Party. So Trivia Murder Party has most of the same features. It's worth mentioning that the audience in Trivia Murder Party is a little bit different in that everyone in the audience is playing together to try to beat the players in the game. So they're their own character. And all of those people in the audience either live or die together, which is sort of just a fun extra use of the audience. I especially recommend turning extended timers on when playing Trivia Murder Party over something like Twitch because the delay can make it easier to cheat at certain memory mini games. That, if there's a pattern that you're supposed to memorize and then it goes away, with the delay, you'll still be seeing it on the screen. So the extended timer actually adds extra little moments that makes it harder for people to cheat at those mini games. You can also turn off the tutorials in the game, but why would you want to do that? They're so fun. And finally, there is no actual censoring in Trivia Murder Party because there's very little audience input in the game. However, there are 2 mini games that do heavily rely on audience input. So if you're nervous about what you might see from your viewers, you can turn those off, and then you won't get the drawing or the text input mini games. Our next game is Gatsby Nagy, and the settings in that game are pretty much the same as all the other games. But I did want to take one quick moment to emphasize how awesome it is to play Gatsby Nagy with your audience turned on. That's because in the game of Gatsby Nagy, you're answering questions like, what percentage of people urinate in the shower? So if your audience is turned on and you have 5 or more audience members, those answers are pulled from how your audience answered those questions instead of the baked-in polling results that we have. So you're playing the game being like, not just what percentage of people in the world pee in their shower. It's like, I know my audience. I think I know what percentage of them pee in the shower. And that's just kind of a fun thing to share with your viewers. And that's just a fun thing to share with your viewers. Next up is TKO, a really fun drawing shirt making game. One feature I want to focus in TKO is quick training. Now in TKO, there's a good amount of drawing at the beginning of the game, and the more drawing the players do, the more funny things there are to show up. But with an audience watching people draw for a while, that can get a little long. So you can turn quick training on, and that just means that you're only drawing 2 things at the beginning of the game instead of 3. It can make the game just go a little bit faster. Similarly, TKO has audience suggestions, sort of like the audience writing moment in Quiplash 2. What that means is, during all this drawing and writing time, the audience can write funny things that show up on the screen. And again, if that makes you nervous, I understand, and you can turn it off. And just like Quiplash 2 and most of our games that involve a lot of input from the players, you can censor things in the game. If there's something you don't want to see on one of the shirts, it's easy to censor them and make it disappear. And finally, there's Fakin' It, which is one of my favorite games in the pack, but it's probably the one game in the pack where the players playing kind of all do have to be in the same room. That said, it's still really great to stream because the audience feature is super fun. So you're definitely going to want to turn the audience on when playing Fakin' It because the audience gets special secret information that just makes it really compelling to be in the audience. The players are trying to figure out which one of them is the faker while they're raising their hands and making weird faces and doing things that are just really a funny party atmosphere to have on your stream. But then the audience is voting on who they think the faker is, and it's giving helpful information to the players to sort of give them clues on finding out who the faker is. Basically, it's a game that gives a fun, party, physical, argumentative atmosphere to your stream, and the audience of up to 10,000 people are going to want to join in and are going to want to vote. And it's just fun in real time to know the secret information that only some of the players know. On top of that, there's all the same features like censoring for the final round, just in case you don't trust one of your players. So those are the games in the Jackbox Party Pack 3 and the features that will make it more fun and honestly safer to play with your viewers. If you'd like to read all of that stuff in fancy bullet points, you can go to jackboxgames.com and go to the Broadcaster tab, and all this information is written out there. Thanks so much. Enjoy the game. We really love people playing our games over Twitch and YouTube and any other streaming service. It means a lot. And all of these features are the result of people telling us what works and what doesn't work for them with our games as we continue to try to make them a better experience for people who play our games and stream them. I love you. You mean so much to me. Don't forget to write. Goodbye. Don't forget me.